Howdy ho, listeners, and welcome to another edition of the Why Do Boys Make podcast, the official podcast for the Why Do Boys Play Games Fantasy Football League. I'm your host this week, and we're going to explore the true meaning of Thanksgiving, which is football. So joining me on this quest is the most loquacious and bodacious, the populator, and the can't stop you later. It's Mr. Michael Corbett. Corby, how are you doing? Are you ready for some Thanksgiving football with players eating big turkey legs on the field?
Oi, mate, I'm so excited to have a turkey leg on Thursday, and me thinks it's time to watch some football on Thursday for the Thanksgiving celebrations, innit?
Who's that?
All right, but all seriousness now, yeah, I love Thanksgiving, I love eating, I love watching football. It's great, and thanks for having me.
All right, power rank these holidays real quick, okay? Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween, Columbus Day.
Okay, Columbus Day certainly last, no doubt about it. Not recognized in this house. It's really hard because I actually have come to love Halloween in recent years because my work takes Halloween really seriously and people go crazy with costumes and stuff. But I'm gonna have to put it third because I just like the other ones better. Two, I'm gonna say Thanksgiving because I really like to eat food, but I don't like eating food as much as I like exchanging gifts with my family and seeing family, and something just very nostalgic about Christmas to me. I just love it.
And there's the football on Thanksgiving too. That's a hoot.
Yeah, that's a hoot too.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think only because I have kids, I have Halloween it too. I think once you have kids, maybe for you, I think maybe it's a lot more fun. Can live vicariously through them. All right. So now that we got that great, that we call that one the holiday power ranking segment. Let's open the mailbag. How are the comments looking this week? Did we get a good amount?
Let me
40 something or?
Let me just cheat and find wherever that is. Hold on.
Where is it these days?
Count,
37. 30. Oh, that feels like a little on the low side. So here we go. Here's Michael first. He says, "Hola, ciao, bra." Let's translate that. First again. Good job. I don't know what language that is. Here's what also Mike says. It was so awesome, just the two of you peeking at the beginning of the. Wait, is that Cousin Chris's music? Is that Dr. Shot's music too? What does that mean?
Dr. Shots was a Halloween costume that Fitzy did a few years ago. Well, not a few years ago, now many years ago. In college.
Like a drunk doctor?
He was, I believe, he was a doctor, and then he had shot glasses all over himself, and it was Dr. Shots.
Cool. You'd think if it's a Dr. Shots, he has syringes. He's gonna give you a shot,
Oh, I never even thought of that. That's not even crossed my mind once. I think of
he's gonna go up to someone, "Hey, you want a shot?" I mean, he has the shots hanging off, but they're gonna think he means like a COVID vaccine. All right. What else does Mike say here? He says, "Respectfully, as a great big pussy." This is what Chris said. Oh, they don't call it Columbus Day really anymore, right? What do they call it now?
Indigenous Peoples Day.
Yeah, that's right. So I meant to say that. My bad. Please don't comment below. What else does Mike see here? I didn't even see the Meet the Boys segment. Incredible. As soon as I saw Lord of the Rings, I knew Taylor would be Gandalf. How would you know?
Mike just knows his guys.
I definitely had no intention of. I didn't really think anything. I was like, yeah, it's Taylor. I was just pretty random. But Mike is he's got the foresight. Mike says 50 comments. If there's two things we like to do, it's play fantasy football and yap. True that. Here's what Mike says. I'll take all the Mike comments. Mike says, Fitzy is a huge rye bread fan. Probably my favorite sliced bread. You got to go sourdough with grilled cheese. Mike's a big bread connoisseur here, as you'll see from the next few comments. He says, focaccia, pronounced focaccia? Focaccia? Focaccia is an incredible bread. Dip it in some olive oil or some marinara. I go Homer mode. What do we got here? Is this you? Why don't you take this one? The reply.
Oh, is it me? Oh, yes, this is me. I went to Tandem Bagel the other morning and got a breakfast sandwich on focaccia. Shit was legendary. I was going to bring this up, but then I forgot that I commented. Yeah, it was basically, instead of a bagel sandwich, it was 2 pieces of focaccia bread with a bunch of shit inside of it. It was so delicious. Shouts out to Tandem Bagel.
Focaccia bread. Yeah, I don't know this. Looks good. Looks like Italian cheese bread from Little Caesars. So I'd rank it 1. Brioche bread best for French toast.
Very good.
Yeah, it's a good bread. I don't know any breads. I love the bread ranking, but if you show this to r/bread, you'd be crucified. I know I just said rye is my favorite sliced bread, ultimately for sandwiches, but I would put ciabatta at 1 probably. Ciabatta, focaccia, French are so good. What do you think, Corby? Do you have any strong bread opinions besides about tandem bagel?
I mean, there's a reason I made this list of breads because I
Right.
also love bread. I would definitely put rye as the best sliced for sure. Sourdough is definitely up there too. I think that I would probably have ciabatta in the top 3 easily as well. White bread would be number 10, and I wouldn't even include it in a list of top 10 breads for me. I think white bread
Was
is.
sourdough on the power ranking?
I don't think that I put it on there.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
Sourdough is really good too. Love sourdough.
Last breath comment. I sometimes eat bread with spicy mustard, nothing else. I am a sick fuck. No, you see anything
Nothing
wrong?
sick about that.
Yeah,
There was a time in my life where I would take sliced potato bread, and I would curl it up into a big ball and just eat bread balls.
Oh my god, I would do that too, but with like Wonder Bread. I would make out. I'd make it. I mean, I was like, I wasn't a bread snob yet, but I'll just I'd do that too. I'd put it in a dense little ball and I'd eat it.
Delicious, dude. I loved bread balls. A great snack.
When you bring up the unfair scores against you, you put that energy out there to track the situation to you. You've seen The Secret, you know what happens. It's called the law of attraction, Corby, in case you don't know. It's a very real phenomenon. Here, so I said fuck, because he's right. And we'll get into it.
We will absolutely get into a lot of lamenting.
A lot of shout out to Mike for really holding down the comments this week.
Yeah, he's like more than half of these comments. You got to see.
I will never apologize to Tank Dill. Did you know when he got shot in the offseason? I didn't know he even got shot. Chris and I were in the same city at the time. I am sorry, Tua, but I never should have doubted. Oh, I never should have doubted you. This was before the Sunday games too, I believe. So
yeah.
So he should be double sorry. Not that
Tua's red hot, and maybe the comments left Tua. He lit a fire under his ass. He saw our pod, and he was like, "Yeah, it's time to help Mikey out."
Good to give yourself credit. All wins are impressive. Take what you can get. Agree to disagree, I guess. Not all wins are impressive. Terry Methlorin.
It's a great one. Terry Methlorin, for sure.
What does it mean?
You don't remember from the segment last week where Fitzy was doing his
it was one of his things. Okay.
Terry Meth, because he was doing drugs.
Yeah,
his
drugs,
name was drugs. He did Terry Methlorin.
Yeah, he must have like, you know, gone to the pharmacy, because some of those, like, I don't even know, like, I never heard of half of those things, you know.
Yeah.
Some very obscure drug references, but well done. Cousin Chris earlier this year. I never show up for cousin or Chris Bowles. Having a cousin and a Chris Bowl to end the season. Can you reverse your fate and turn into the team of destiny? Yeah, he's playing Mike this week and then Chris Cloud next week. So that will be. I've been keeping a close eye on this because of playoff implications. We'll get into it. And then Mike says here, he got 4 thumbs up for this one. Colin would pay anything to eat a human salad. Right. That's a common joke. Is like, oh, how much would it take for you? Or what is it? Oh, would you eat like a human salad for $100?
Yeah.
And the implication is that they're paying you, but then, you know, I would, or Mike here would say, oh, I would pay anything, you know.
What is the actual maximum dollar amount that you would pay
to eat a person?
Yeah,
I don't know, like 50 cents. I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay to eat a dollar.
You don't want to pay for it. All right, well, so then you really don't want to do it. That's stupid.
No, it's just that I think I'm just too frugal to be like, you know, like I would do it for the experience, but I'm not gonna pay for it. It's just meat. It's just meat to me. You know, good meat.
Maybe good meat.
I guess $5. If I was at the Big E and there's like a human food truck, I'd be like.
Well, first of all, if it was at the Big E, it'd be like $17 for like
right.
one
and I would buy it. I would buy it because I'd be like, oh, I have to. I'm at the Big E. That's the big thing this year is the human.
Big E like 2025. Their new thing is going to be human flesh.
Right. It's going to be like. So.
Let me take Adams here. Adam says 18th. Thanks for chiming in, Adam. Thanks for listening. He also says there is 0 chance I make playoffs. Let's be serious. Yeah, we're certainly going to get into that. And there was a breath of a chance, but that breath has since been taken away. Oh boy, we got quite the ordeal here. Zach Ertz is not tight end 7.
I said he isn't why the boys play games.
And then Adam said, at Corncord Rocks, it's tracked by average points. He is tight in 14 in points per game.
What does that mean? What is it? It's tracked by average. Like, is there a consent? Like, is there like one? Like, what do you mean it? Like, is there a universal law or something? I said at Ice had 001, 0001. I said, we're arguing semantics then. He has the 7th most points of any tight end. And that was strictly my point. Good day, sir. That's what, that's a good closing remark. You can't say anything after that.
Oh, well, what you guys were still going on Monday. Adam says, at you would not need to add your qualifier. Well, I don't know who had their buys yet. Every time you simply used average points, because after his bye week 14, he will not have the 7th most tight end points. Smiley face.
Right. And there's this weird, like, passive-aggressive smiley face. That was the whole point of the bit. It was a bit, obviously. I was like, oh. I said, but the whole point, I'm trying to inflate his ranking. That would be detrimental to his point. This is what happens when you live in a post-irony age, It's just, come on, pump something up, huh? Who won this? Oh, fuck you.
Get owned.
Fuck you. Eric said I got 100 points. Did he?
We'll get into it.
We'll get into it. No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
He didn't, Eric. Why don't you say that?
Last week? Week 11, he got 100 points.
Are we sure? It's really bad.
4 points week 11.
Oh, okay. All right. He just crossed the threshold. I'm sorry, Eric.
Yeah. And he then said, "I will not be flushed." He was flushed.
This one here.
Yeah, he was flushed. And then Amazing Brawl Siblings said, "Ayo, this shit crazy." Shouts out to, I believe this is Steven.
Yes.
Shouts out to Steven. Thanks for chiming in with a comment. Really appreciate it. I'm sure you didn't listen, but hey, if you comment, we're gonna shout you out.
I estimate that I will de-estimate Colin's team. In past years, I would have kept Jets D. You're right, Fitzy, but they are softer than Charmin this year. Than Charmin soft this year. And I can't justify it. Saquon will outscore Colin's running backs by himself. We'll get into it. We'll get really into it,
That was quite the call.
More Pods After Dark. Stay tuned for this episode of Pods After Dark, where we talk about how me and Corby lost our virginity to each other.
I'm not sure I'm ready to talk about that.
Take some Adams.
All right, Adam. To be fair, I made that Noah Brown comment after I had already started him on Thursday Night Football. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. That definitely clarifies that. Thanks for the clarification, Adam.
We'll get into Noah Brown a little later. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. And then he says, "I'm with Colin. I'll eat someone."
Finally some agreement with me.
You guys can finally agree on something. I love it.
I like how this one's already thumbs up.
Yo, this shit's already thumbs up. I forgot to love it. Hawk Tua. You gotta love it. Lucky Hawk. Lucky Hawk. What the fuck? Oh my god.
What? How has that never happened? I feel like he's commented this like 3 weeks in a row.
Incredible. He then says, "Really disappointed there was no outro song, guys. Do better." And he then replies to himself, "Great work on the pod, everyone."
He felt bad.
Yeah.
I mean, there was the Bachelorette song, and then it cut to the Pods After Dark, but then it did interrupt abruptly. I did forget.
Qualify as a song or more like torture?
Maybe he meant an AI song. He wants more AI. Adam.
Okay, more AI for Adam coming up this episode.
Oh, I didn't see this comment. I didn't see this. All right. As I return to the comment section of this crisp fall Monday morning, I'd like to reflect on the merciless beatdown Saquon assailed upon Colin's team for just a moment. Saquon laid siege upon Colin's hapless squad. It's not hapless. I had a good week, beating them like they owed him money. Saquon laughed in the face of Mira Abdullah's early touchdown. The attempt of Colin's motley crew seemed to be admirable, but ultimately it was futile against a god. All of that for a drop of blood. Oh, shit. I didn't see the read more. Jesus Christ. Colin must now regroup. The largest match of his season looms. A head-to-head against Chris, spending fab just to say he did Cloud. Victory would thrust him toward the coveted 5th or 6th playoff spot. Defeat would banish his team to the shadows. All the while, he will need assistance. An unlikely ally, offering a hand of grace as after burning his team to ashes. Yeah, I was going to get into this. Yes, my squad will be looked to fend off the yet-to-be-crowned Team of Destiny, Chris Colby. Can Brady put an end to the tour next week? What tour? Revenge tour. I can't stop the feeling that Commissioner Tyler is out for blood after a season of heartbreak. But don't cue the violin music. Tyler isn't looking for us to cry him a river. He looked in the mirror and steeled his resolve. We have a pissed off Tyler. What goes around comes around, and he's looking to win out. Godspeed, Colin. You have your work cut out for you. Yeah, we'll talk more about what needs to happen for me and for everyone else too. But it is going to be a very intense last 2 weeks. A lot of repercussions every week. Every game has a lot of repercussions, so we'll see.
It's always super fascinating when we see 4 teams clinching the playoffs and everyone's scrambling to try to get it. It's one of the best parts of the season for sure.
Yeah.
I also just want to mention here, what's up with these Justin Timberlake references in the last thing here? We got I Can't Stop the Feeling. We got Cry Him a River. We got Mirror. We got What Goes Around Comes Around. I like it.
Right.
It's beautiful craft.
And with the mailbag, what do we got next? We're going to Week 12 recap. Oh boy.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Oh fuck! I don't even know why I make the mailbag slide. What the hell's the point?
all right. So before we start, I just want to say this week, it was all blowouts. Really, there was no game was closer than 20 points. All of them were 20 or more. Everything was decided by Sunday night. Monday night had no there was no repercussions, or there's no Monday Night Miracles, and really no hope for any. I think Taylor maybe had one player that he was the closest game, but it was a strange week this week. So with that precursor, let's look at the first blowout where Corby put the beat down on Fitzy, who was here last week. Fitzy had, not the worst week, but Corby has, as I said when I picked him, he has the best team. He scores the most points, and that's what he did this week. He scored a lot of points, the second most in the league this week. So well done, Corby. Not much to say. You got a great team. Terry was looking bad, and then all of a sudden he was really good. You got a great team. Yeah, I got nothing much else to say, except of course, what are you doing this weekend? You're playing Bucky Irving because he had a great game.
Yeah, Bucky Irving. Not that I was going to bench him for the rest of the season. He has cemented himself as my new favorite running back in the NFL. Even on a 3-headed backfield, he still is an absolute boss. It's great. I was more scared than I let on, I suppose. Last week I was frightened scared in my boots because this was the first team that I lost to this season. But Fitzy called a shot. He said he was going to lose if he started Sam Laporta, and he started Sam Laporta, and that's the way the Laporta curse goes. Before we move on, I'd just like to shout out Luke Schoonmaker, GOAT pickup, 14.5 points. Straight off the waiver wire, I dropped Pat Freiermuth, and that felt like the weight of the world off my shoulders.
Yeah, he did decent too. Before we move on, not just Sam Laporta was the curse, but Jahan Dotson. Now,
I was watching. Okay, so I watched the game, but I don't want to talk about Jahan Dotson. I want to talk about what was happening before Jahan Dotson went in the lineup. It was probably like 2:45 or no, it was like 3:30 maybe, and he still had Noah Fant in his super flex spot. And I was like, okay, he's going to go for the 2 tight end swag strat with one of them not playing this week. Let's see. I just didn't know if Fitzy was going to pull a Colin and not set his lineup, and he did, and he picked up Jahan Dotson, which was quite the choice. He scored more points than Devontae Smith, I guess. So great.
Right. You were like, Jake Ferguson is out, I'll pick up Luke Schoonmaker. And Fitzy was like, Devontae Smith is out, I'll pick up Jahan Dotson. One of those moves worked out.
Yeah, it's the same thing, Luke Schoonmaker and Jahan Dotson, the same guy.
Right. So everyone picked Corby, and everyone was right. Well done, Corby.
Hold on. Welcome back to the Clown Show. On this week's episode of the Clown Show, we've got Eric going for a hot 87 points, missing his projection of a hot 93 points. Where Tyler actually lays the smackdown, scores 159, outpaces his projection, which is great. Has great weeks from stars like Keenan Allen. Aaron Jones has a great bounce back. Hawkinson looks amazing out there. Mike Evans is back in the lineup. Houston defense was awesome. They had a pick 6. Yeah, it was a great week for Tyler. I think that Baker could have scored more points. He just got very unlucky. Like the comment alluded to, we're dealing with a pissed off Tyler, and he is definitely going and gunning for the low seeds. And if he gets the 6th seed, I'm kind of scared because whoever's in first place has to play him, and that's terrifying. He could be a late push, like crazy wild card guy. His team is great,
His
but
team is.
Eric's team is not great. I'm not done trashing Eric's team. He had Derrick Henry going last night. His highest scoring player was Michael Pittman. I'm not gonna start it again. But yeah, look at all those single digits. Eric has been done for a while, but this cements himself. He is. There is something wrong with him.
I mean, it's tough for it's tough for Eric. But Tyler, I mean, you know, he had, even before this game, he had the second most points in the league. He needed to win out before this game. He was 4-7, obviously. No, he's 5-7. The only way he makes playoff of this is if he wins out. I mean, and then if he wins out, he's pretty much guaranteed a spot. He has 2 very winnable games in the next 2 weeks. We'll get into the next one. We'll talk a little more about that in the preview. But this is a huge win for Tyler, who, again, this is a great week for him on a great team. I think he's going to make playoffs. You know, I don't want to, no spoilers, I guess, but he's got an easy schedule, I think. I think he'll make playoffs. So well done, Eric. Yeah, this is. We'll get into him in a segment in a little bit. It's sad, but you know, not everyone can be a winner every time, huh? For every year.
That's for sure.
All right. Next up, we got this sad sack of a matchup, the toilet bowl of the week, kind of. We got Taylor. I guess not really though. There's a worse one. There's Taylor taking on Chris Colby, and like Tyler, Chris needed this win. Chris is really in control of his own destiny here. This win is 6-6. If he wins out, he's guaranteed a spot. So he's going to be playing. Yeah, so he played Taylor, who, let's not forget, just put up 210 against me. Puts up about half that here. So that must be nice, huh? That's nice. Good for you. Good for you for playing this team and only scoring 126. A lot less than I scored last week. A lot less than I scored. Sad, if you ask me. But you know, well done. He got it. I mean, not really, but you know, fuck it. He won. Taylor, you know, that's pretty fucked up that you did that, but that you did this bad. After, you know, you could have done me a solid by winning after beating me that bad, but no, you didn't. You fucked me. What do you see here? Any good signs for Chris? You know, even if you make playoffs, Chris, you know, you're playoff fodder. No offense, and so am I. I'm not. Like Fitzy would say, I'm not trying to throw stones in glass houses. All right, my house is stoned too. I'm throwing rocks in rocky houses here because my team is playoff fodder. I think yours is too. But it'd just be nice to get there. I'm sure we both feel that way. What do you think, Corby?
Yeah, you asked me if I see anything good here, and there are a few great things. Jacoby Myers was awesome, even against Denver. He was great. 10 catches, which is maybe the most catches that Denver has let up all season. He is really him, and I guess I just missed that at some point. He's just really good. He's great. Some not so great things though. You see the big Q right next to J.K. Dobbins. He went out yesterday with a knee. We don't know what the issue is, but I hope it's okay because he's going to need Dobbins if he's going to continue to try to win out. I'm also noticing that McCaffrey only scored 7.8. Kate Otten only scored 4. This is not going to continue to happen, right? This is probably Christian McCaffrey's lowest score, like sans an injury week in I don't know how long, a long time, and there's no way that it can continue. So I think you've still got a path here. And Taylor, the reason you lost here most likely is because you didn't get to start 41 points Taysom Hill. Thank you for making it interesting though, Taylor, and getting me a win and a bet that we'll get into in like 2 hours.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for the 4th straight week. Is it 4th? No, wait. 8, 9, 10, 11. For the 5th straight week, I have played a team that outscored their projection by 30 points or more. This is absolutely ridiculous. It's not fair. I think I should be given a win. I scored the 6th most points this week, which is, you know, it's not. I scored a lot more than some of these point-winning teams did, okay? I had a good week. Very solid, consistent week. No great scores, but, you know, everyone's up there. Zach Ertz was busting his ass out there. And what do I get for it? A loss. It's not fair. It's unjust. It's not right. It's just not. It's not right. And you know, I'm not in control of my own destiny here because even if I win out, I might not make playoffs, and that's the real tragedy here. So, you know, well done, Mike. I guess. Thanks for nothing. No,
Hey,
but I will say I will give Mike his flowers. Like I've said I've said all year pretty much he has a good team. He's got a good team. He beat me by a lot, and I think he can he can do some things in playoffs. He's not playoff fodder. He's good team. Even if he's flexing Dalton Schultz this week.
yeah, so Saquon obviously is the big red, meaty, throbbing flag here. Scores 51 points, which is like almost just about a third of Mike's total points, which is absolutely insane. Swag strat to start Jalen Wright, just with the utmost confidence, getting only 28 rushing yards and a fumble lost. Yeah, Sutton has been unbelievable. Tua's great. Bo is great. But and with this victory, Mike clinches a playoff berth, which is great. Great to see. Great to see Mike in the playoffs. I don't know how many years in this league he has made playoffs. We'll have to get that vetted. And for Colin, I mean, on your side, like you said, you had a very solid week. You scored 142. There, you would have beaten a bunch of these teams in this league. You would have beaten Eric. You would have beaten Chris. You would have beaten a lot of people, and you unfortunately had to go against the buzzsaw. And yeah, that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, huh?
Fuck the cookie. It's just like Taylor. Look at these scores. All right, 4 points from Tyler Lockett, 4.4 from Debo, 4 from Dalton Schultz, 2 points from his defense, 0.8 from Jalen Wright. Oh, I won, right? No, it's the same thing. 30 points, 51 points. Cortland Sutton, Tua, Saquon Barkley. If you go against me, your best players will explode. Not looking good for next week. We'll get into it.
Speaking of exploding, we had a crazy almost 200 burger from Chris Patnode, excuse me. And just take note here, this is without Jamar Chase. His team went absolutely bananas. He got great weeks from DJ Moore finally. Jaden Daniels almost led the comeback. They should have went for 2 at the end of that game, in my opinion. Devon Achane continues to score points. Look at Trey McBride, 12 catches. That's insane. Josh Jacobs, three-peat touchdowns. Gotta love it. George Kittle, he's playing great too, even with that shitty quarterback. It's awesome. You love to see it. And Adam had a great week too. And it's just unfortunate that all these teams who had middling to great weeks just had to go against the buzzsaws. And Chris is really gunning for that number 1 spot, and we're gonna see if he can get there. We're gonna get into it later.
Yeah, this is Chris's. Last week he scored like 192. So I mean, I was talking shit in the first half of this season because Chris had like one of the best records, but a really bad points for. He was just like lucking into wins, and for the past like 4 or 5 weeks or something, he's just been on an absolute tear, proving me wrong. He's got a sick team. Yeah, and like you said, not only was no Jamar Chase, but he's basically starting 1 quarterback this week and almost had a 200 burger. Unreal, great job. And it's one of those high scoring games where it's like not just like no one dude just like decimated it. He has a bunch of 20s and 30s. Trey McBride has 0 receiving touchdowns on the year, but he's like tight end 2 or 3 or something. Probably right behind Kittle. He's probably like tight end 2. So that's just hilarious. He's just a solid PPR dude. I love that. Even because you're not depending on touchdowns. It's great. He's got a great, awesome team. Love it. I don't love Josh Jacobs taking all the touchdowns from Jordan Love on the Packers because that could have helped me, but that's just selfish. Great team, Chris. I think he's finding his peak, wink, wink. And this sucks for Adam because he scored even more than me and lost. Not that he needed it, but you can see it's really taking a toll on him, and we'll get into that.
Final matchup of the week.
Yeah, it's Brandy and Chris Cloud here. So, this is the most frustrating thing in the world to me, okay? Listen up. I think for the past... yeah, go ahead and play it, because this is ridiculous. I think since, week 7 or week 6, Brandy has not scored above, 140, and is, 4-3 in those 7 games. Never scored above, 144. So averaging, 126 or something. 4-3! Because of this shit! This is fucked up! And I don't want to like it anymore! Chris, you put $69 on Bryce Young and you didn't play him. I feel like you had a good amount of time. What happened? Wouldn't have helped you at all, but it's just humiliating. And this actually has like pretty huge repercussions, not just the Bryce Young thing, but his shitty points total in general. Because the thing was, he only needed to win one game because he had good points for, and he would lock himself into 7-7, which would at least he would at worst tie for the 6th seed. And because he had good points for, he could slip in over like Chris or not Tyler, but over Chris or me. He was above me. But with this, it's not looking good. So we'll see if he can bounce back. You know, he'll have his players back, Bijan and T. Higgins for next week, and hopefully Purdy. Or I mean, hopefully not. We'll get into it because he's playing me. But hopefully, you know, if not, he can play Bryce Young. But this isn't indicative of his team, really. It's just indicative of how like lazy he was. But you weren't going to win anyway this week. It's just a little humiliating, and you need those points for. But you know, great job, Brandy. Somehow 8-4.
Yeah, you love to see it. You know, I really like the drama of it all. There's always a team of destiny of some sorts where there's a team that improbably somehow not even stumbles, just lucks their way into the playoffs. And you know, we don't know if peak has reached yet for Brandy. The great news is that she survives with Jonathan Taylor and DK and Mostert and Bowers all scoring single digits, you know, and that's great, and that's good, and I'm really excited to see how the roster continues to get molded and formed as playoffs prepare. Chris, yeah, I mean, you buried the lead. I totally forgot about the Bryce Young thing, like while I was preparing for this episode. Yeah, I would really love to know what was happening for you to spend that much money and then not start him. Truly,
Comment down below, Chris.
begging you. I am begging you. I will do anything to know this information.
That's the week 12 recap. Corby, do you have something you Oh no, never mind. I'm sorry.
No, I before we move on, I want to just as we have been doing, just take a look at the standings. Welcome, Mike. Welcome, Brandy, to the playoffs. It's great to have you here. I look forward to seeing how 5 and 6 shape up. I'm really just so interested. Colin, you've tumbled down to. Were you in 8 before? Or
no, 6.
You were 6, and you've tumbled to 8. In another league, I saw you rose up to 3rd, which was insane. But we don't talk about that league. Anyways, all of these 8, 7, 6. They're all clawing at the bit and whatnot. For the record, in terms of the pick'em, Colin went 2-4, 42-30, 8-4 locks of the week. I went 6-0, 52-20, 9-3. Fitzy went 5-1, 48-24, 10-2. Colin went 4-2, 37-35, 6-6. And Chris Colby, the guest, went 6-0. Love to see it. So that's the record. Before we get on to the normal program, I have created a new segment. It's going to be very quick. It's called Mike's Memories. I'm going to take a random matchup from leagues past and just look at it and reminisce on the old days. And this week's memory is from the very first year. Week 10, 2013, we had Children versus YWSA Kickers, where Children is Steven. And this was the only year that Steven was in the league. You'll see that he's finished the league 1-13, which was not a great year for him. I have a memory that WYSA Kickers was Jimmy. Didn't Jimmy draft his team?
Jimmy was in there the first year, and someone took over his team. Was it Mike? Was that the one? I believe it. Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. So for some reason, I've just blocked out the fact that Mike took over this team. But anyways, I want to just look at these players. Look at Matt Schaub with a fat 0 points. He was projected for 11 points this week. It's really, really interesting stuff. Darren McFadden is projected for 8, got 0. Kyle Rudolph projected for 10, got 0. Trent Richardson projected for 10, got 6.5. There's a few names here that you may not recognize. Where's this guy? Is it this guy? D Moore
Right.
and Jay Boykin. This is Jarrett Boykin of Green Bay Packers fame and Denarius Moore.
They had some good games.
I know. That's why I included this, because I was like, who the hell is Denarius Moore? I remember Jared Boykin, but I just
Jared Boykin looks like a league winner. Look at him go.
Unbelievable seasons. Do you remember Denarius Moore?
No, I don't know either of these guys. I don't remember Jared Boykin.
Oh, I remember the name Jared Boykin, and I remember him being like a bum that would always catch a random touchdown every once in a while. But I didn't recognize him. Like, look at this, 24 points in week 7. And look at this, 10, 11, and 12, 17, 15, 19. What a beast.
There's just something about being named D Moore and being a random receiver who just has a good week. Shout out to David Moore this week on the Panthers.
Yeah. When I see D Moore, I think DJ Moore, but I just had to know more about this Moore.
Yeah, so, shout out. Also shout out to Mr. Money over there in the screenshot. I saw Jason Witten on there. Gotta love Mr. Money. Look at him.
Mr. Money. 13-point projection, had 4.7.
All right, wasn't so money that week.
I think Jay Jones was James Jones, not Julio Jones.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Julio, but yeah, the low projection and the low points make sense for James Jones.
Look at Phil Dawson, 12 points. What the fuck?
That's bald insane. Fuck.
Old fuck. So that's Mike's memories. If you have a great memory of an old week past, let us know, and we'll include it in Mike's memory.
Let's jump into transaction watch. Obviously, the big one is Bryce Young for $69 to Chris Cloud. Eric was there for 23. Tyler for 0. So I dropped Bryce Young because, I only have 2 quarterbacks, but I figured that if one gets hurt and I have to start Bryce Young, I already lost. Like, I might as well use that bench spot for like a lottery ticket. There's no point in rostering 3 quarterbacks. If the third one is Bryce Young, there's no point. So I already lost if I have to start Bryce Young. So fuck it. It's not worth it. But for a team because all my buys are already gone. For a team who that's not true with, like Chris, great. It's good to spend that. Yeah, spend that. Good for Chris Cloud, who just notoriously doesn't spend fab. But then he just doesn't start him. So not good job there. That's a strange thing. Because this was 3:11 in the morning is when waivers clear. You had a whole morning, and then he played it probably 1, right? He played it 1. The whole morning. Roshan for $8 to Adam. Chris Colby tried to get there for 0. I think he definitely scored a touchdown. This was one of the maddening things about owning DeAndre Swift this year is he'd get to the 1, and DeAndre Swift is infamous at this point for getting tackled at the 1. Definitely happened at least 4 times this year, and then Roshan would pound it in the next play. So frustrating. It happened that game. Not that it mattered for Eric. Adam Thielen. Oh, this one I put in here because Adam dropped Noah Brown, and Adam Thielen I think had an okay game, or maybe good. I don't know. Noah Brown had a really good game. He was above 10. Not a great game, but he was their leading receiver. I'm pretty sure. Maybe Ertz actually. Here you can see Fitzy, $3 for Noah Fant. It didn't show up in the Fab transactions because nobody else bid, but he did it. And then he dropped him at the bottom there for Jahan Dotson. You can see. And as Corby said, I put this in $3 for Luke Schoonmaker, and it was a great pickup. Is Fergie looking to play this week? Do you know?
I don't know. It's a short week. I really hope not. I would love to start him. Although I have been, there are rumblings that the New York Giants are good against the tight end. And I do have Kyle Pitts.
That's what I was going to say. You might have to go back to your boy.
It's the love of my life. So it would be hard for me to choose between the Shoon and double Pitts to Chesty. But we'll get to it. We'll get into it.
Let's get into name change breakdown. Corby, why don't you take the wheel for this one?
Thank you. Name change breakdown. Mike hits us with this huge sentence. I put it in the Apple Translate.
So funny.
It says, "Open your eyes and look at the man who broke you."
Is that a Street Fighter quote, or did he just make that the?
There's no way that it's not a Street Fighter quote, right?
I don't. Yeah, but I mean, the other one was like I remember. What was that? It was like crumbled to ashes or something. I'll say this: the iconic Akuma quote to me is "Die 1,000 deaths." That's what he says before he does Raging Demon, and I just assumed that that's what this was, because that's what he did, the Raging Demon on me. But instead, it's "Open your eyes, look at the man who broke you." That's a great quote.
It's an incredible quote, and look at the photo. The photo is unreal. That's Saquon, obviously.
Oh, I see. And that's Amir Abdullah, I'm assuming.
Oh, it is Amir Abdullah. I couldn't recognize.
Is that Oro over Oro's face? Maybe.
Yeah, it is over Oro's face. It's really good.
Well done.
This is
Shout out to
awesome.
Amir Abdullah, though. I didn't really talk about it, but you know, he's looking like Theo out there. Great job. This is not sad.
No, for
Shout
sure.
out to Amir.
No, for sure. Amir for sure. He had a great week. But
Right.
Mike, as Adam alluded to in the league chat, has broken barriers in terms of Yahoo Fantasy because of the way that the Japanese language is written. He's able to fit all of these characters, and for that reason, and not just that reason, for every reason that we've talked about here, this is a big, big, big 5 boomer. One of the best team names of the year for sure. Absolutely. Love this quote. This quote is fucking hard. This everything about this goes hard. Speaking of going hard, 1-800-273-8255. If you or someone you know is having issues and needs help, call that number. I believe the photo is logic. If I'm wrong, please go in the comments and fucking torch me because I don't know. I don't know.
He looks like a dork.
This this team name made me fucking laugh out loud. Adam is definitely in the running for best team name just all year long. Like it definitely should be a year long gamey as well. And he's been on a tear. And last week he got 5 for Hawk Tua. I love that name. And we're gonna keep it going with 5 booms. And those are our names for this week. Which name do you like more? Which name do you like less? Let us know below. Also, before we move on, what the fuck? Why did nobody answer the?
Oh yeah, fuck. What was it again?
It was. What are your thoughts on the Macy's Day Parade? Good or bad?
I meant to check back at the before we did this pod just to see if no one did it, so I would do it because I don't want nobody to answer it. I forgot to check back. Macy's Day Parade, good or bad? Corby, did you have strong thoughts? Is that why you asked?
I fucking hate it. I hate it.
Really?
It is so annoying. It is like they have they show the balloons for like 20 seconds and then the rest of the parade is just advertisements. And then they have the gall to like pretend that these people are stopping in the street and performing these songs when it's so obvious that they're all just fucking lip syncing. Like it's just bullshit. And then all these I do like the band segments are cool because like those kids probably practice their asses off and work hard and do that shit. But fuck all those stupid C tier celebrities and shit. And they don't even talk about the fucking balloons anymore. You know I'm gonna watch this shit again, and I just hate it. It's a 0. It's a 0 out of 10. I hate it.
Do you like the balloons and stuff?
The balloons are cool. Like I like to see Pikachu and Peppa Pig and all the favorites. But it's just like it's annoying. And the worst part of it all is the fact that Santa Claus is at the end because he's ready to ring in the Christmas year. It's not even the end of fucking Thanksgiving. It's like 10 o'clock in the fucking morning. I don't want to see your big, stupid, fat, white ass. Fuck you.
All right. There you go.
What are your opinions on the Macy's Day Parade?
I don't know if I've ever seen more than like 2 minutes of it. I'm sure Addie would like it with the floats. I like the only thing because I've never really watched it. The only thing, Kumail Nanjiani, you know who that is?
No.
From like the big sick, that movie.
He's the main actor.
Yeah, he is the Pakistani dude. He has like a bit where he talked about how like his first day when he moved to America was Thanksgiving, and like that he saw that like I don't know if it was on TV or like out his window. And he's like, America is great, it's the best thing ever. Like he's like, is every day like this? And then it's like all downhill from he thought he was some kid who didn't speak. So that bit I always thought was really funny. That's what I think of when I think of Macy's thing. So I like it. I give it a 3 out of 5. 3 booms.
I'm telling you, if you watch it for longer than 30 minutes, you will want to call this number 1-800-273-8255. I hate it. It sucks.
Well, again, I'll live vicariously through Addie. Who'll be like, she'll like it, and then I'll be happy.
Fair enough.
All right, comments of the week. Once again, Corby, I invite you to walk me through these.
The comments are unhinged this week. I'm just gonna.
I didn't read ahead, so I'm excited.
I'm really excited that you didn't read ahead. I was really hoping that you wouldn't because some of these were absolutely
I don't know any of them.
ridiculous. Okay. Start with this one. I really thought was funny. Greg Dortch. This one's kind of an old one. Caleb said, "Hope you are having a wonderful bye week, kitten."
I love that. That's great.
I love it too. I love that. There was 8 of us there at the same time looking at this comment. It was beautiful.
It's so weird.
It's a weird one, but I liked this. This is maybe the only. Yeah, that one was good. Cam Akers scammed myself. Of course you did. You started Cam Akers. You know, you win some, you lose more with Cam Akers. That's
Let's add him.
Yeah. All right, Sam. Here we go. Sam Laporta. We'll start at the top left here with Mark. I made them into 2 split ones in order to make it larger. Mark says, literally every tight end on my waiver wire had more points than you. Even Schultz should have fired you as soon as you came off the can't cut list. Fortunately, I'm still going to win with the paltry 1.9 points you earned me today. I assume it's standard scoring. I won't make that mistake again. And Raza says, buddy, who asked? I love when people clap back when people like Mark comment and like, oh, like you did this to me. And then Michael said, Sam is going to be in the Yahoo Fantasy app later tonight to read this.
What's that mean?
Like Sam Laporta is going to be in the comments.
Why would he go comments?
I don't fucking know. Michael is, I don't know.
I think his big mistake was playing standard.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt. Have you ever been in a standard league?
No, it's 2024. Come on.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So the Big Y league that Adam and I are in was a standard league for almost this entire time until last year. It finally turned to PPR.
Full or half?
A full.
Oh my
full.
god.
Yeah.
It's 0-1. Jeez.
Oh, dude, it was brutal.
Yeah, that doesn't sound silly.
It sucks. It's not fun. Christian Watson. Jake says Hitler, Mao, Paul Plot, and Frank says holiday in Cambodia.
Is he saying that Christian Watson is on the level of these people because of his poor performance?
I think that's what he's saying.
Like this is his company now.
Right. Well, I don't know. I'm sure you didn't watch the games because you were working, but there was a point in the game where Christian Watson had the ball in his hands. It was like an 80-yard touchdown. He just fucking dropped it.
Oh, really? No, I didn't know
Just
that.
dropped it.
Yeah, I started him in 2 tight ends. So.
He had frying pans for hands. It was
sucks.
absolutely horrible.
Such classic Christian Watson.
Yep. That's a guy. That sucks. Hitler, Mao, Paul Plot. I love it. I think this is the last one here. This is maybe the most unhinged one. Anthony Richardson. Stosh says,
oh my god.
Please do a Dwayne Haskins.
Holy shit.
Oh my
You didn't even do that bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
3 thumbs up, which is a little fucked up. 12 thumbs down. No, that's too far. That's not,
that one definitely, I was like, there's no way I cannot not include this one.
That's two like offensive disses with one comment, Like he's saying, like he's pissing on Dwayne Haskins' grave, and then like saying Anthony Richards, like kill yourself, basically. So really, just come on. This is a classic comment coming from someone named Stosh. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, Stosh. Come on, get your shit together. We should check out the rest of his comments. I'm gonna give this 5 big controversial booms out of 5.
I do love the controversial comments. They get the people talking, Does the reply one mean that there was a reply to this?
There was a reply, and I don't remember what it was. It obviously wasn't good enough for me to include it, because if it was, it would be there.
Right.
Wow, we're already here? Shit.
So week 13 preview, but before we do the week 13 preview, we have a little special segment. It is the return of Peaky Finders. That's right.
Oh, did you say Peaky Finders, mate?
That's right.
Any time in it.
All right.
Oh my god, you shared the screen.
All right, close your eyes real quick. How do we do this here? Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. Ready? Open them up. Is it working?
Hit the hide button on the.
I really like I really like it being there, though. I feel like it really adds to the mystique. Okay. All right, so here we go. It's Peaky Finders. Corby, you always make fun of my Xbox 360 graphics, so I put a little high res wallpaper here.
It's really good.
So we're gonna go from, obviously, if you don't know, you probably do, but we're gonna go from 12 to 1, worst team to best, and we're gonna look at.
Oh shit! Hold on. Wait 1 second. Um, I want to just make sure. Okay, my screen is not being shared. It should be good. But anyways,
Okay.
keep going.
All right. If it just changed, then you know where we are anyway. It's Peaky Finders. So we're gonna go 12 to 1. We're gonna look at everyone's score throughout the year. I have a strong conviction that, teams peak too early, they peak too late, and that will help us determine who is going to win the fantasy playoffs and become the championship winner. So we'll go 12 to 1. So that means number 12 is, first we got Adam. So the yellow line here is going to be the same for everyone. That's the league average. It's about like 142 or something. So Adam, you can see here, has exactly 2 weeks above league average. That being this past week. And, what do you think that other game is, Corby? Do you want to guess?
I'm gonna take a guess and say that's against you.
Will you fucking play me? What the fuck? So there's not much to say here. Adam's team started bad and it never got better. Shout out to week 7, where he scored above 70 points.
This picture on the right.
And 2 weeks later, scored almost 190. Oh, let's see. Who do we got here? Oh, it's Taylor. What do you think that big week is, Corby?
I think it might be against you. It might be against you.
It's against me. Do you see how unfair this is? All right, so Taylor actually had a decent 3-week stretch where you can obviously see the peak. That one outlier notwithstanding. He had 3-week stretch where he got about 150 or more, and that was solid, especially coming off a terrible way to start the season. You can see these 3 like sub 130s in a row. It's bad, but yeah, I mean, you can see these bottom 2 teams never really had much hope. But it is what it is. Here we go. Number 10, we got Eric. This is the saddest chart, I think, in the thing, because he started out decently. Derrick Henry was carrying him to victory.
I'm just kidding.
But since week 6, I mean, he's just, week 3 was the high point. He scored about 170, and it's just been quite literally all downhill. Like every week is just worse, other than like the recovery after week 10 and a little up bump after week 8. But Jesus Christ, Eric, this is it's embarrassing. I'm sorry. It's there's bad weeks and then there's this. Or bad years, I'm sorry. Bad years and then there's this. But it is what it is. He's proven in the past that he can win. He won the championship before. Here's Fitzy. He was right when he was here last week. He has a very mid team. There's that 1 week when all of his players on bye, so you can kind of ignore that a little. But other than that, I mean, he's been about league average every week, a little higher, a little lower sometimes. He's straddling the medium here, so a very mid team indeed. No real peak here, just some pop-off games. Here's me. I've got a strange chart here, a lot of ups and downs. But as you can see, I'm mostly above league average. I have a good team. And if I am below league average, it's usually not by much, except that 1 week I did bad. And as you can see, I'm on a 4-game losing streak, by the way. 3 of those games were above league average in the midst of the bipocalypses. It's just disgusting, honestly. It's gross. Thank you. Here's Tyler. Tyler's got a really good team. He's second in points, and as you can see, like this reflects that he doesn't have any like huge peak because he's just been so consistent. He had a bad start to the year with those 2 games. Since then, it's been all up. I mean, not literally all up, but like no bad games. His worst game was probably about 140. You can see there in week 10. So don't worry about that. Great team, Tyler, and you're going up. You're starting to peak. I think he might be yet to find his peak. We'll see in the next 2 weeks. Here's Chris Colby, another strange chart. Terrible way to start the year. I think we're all harping on his team for being the worst, especially after the trade with me. But then it paid off. It started paying off. J.K. Dobbins was good. Derek Carr came back and was winning games. I mean, it's not like Chris has a very good team. He's also kind of lucked into some wins. Because, again, he only has, 3 games, it looks like, above league average, but then also a few really close. So not a very good team. This is why I said it's playoff fodder. But it's be nice to make playoffs. He could make playoffs. He's not in the right trajectory. He's gone down. Maybe it's because of buys. Maybe it's because of bad luck. But it's not looking good for Chris Colby. We're going to be getting to the contenders pretty soon, but not here. Chris Cloud, another strange chart. A solid team. Again, another one of those ones that just bottoms out for 1 week. I mean, he also had that other bad week, but But for the most part, he's been right above around the 160s. He had a really good points for before this past week, but it just tanked him so hard. He basically took this week off, so he needs wins here. Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't the low point here is really going to hurt him, and it hurts his peak. You want that chart to be up, up, up. So I don't think he's got what it takes. Here's Brandy. Here's Brandy, who's 4-3 since week what was it? What did I say? Since like week 7 or 8 or something. And the 4-3 in the last 7 games, despite never not hitting league average since week 7. 8-4 this team is. Look at this chart. 8-4. Here's Mike. A very strange team here, in my opinion. You can see he had in week 3 he had the highest score of the league so far. I think like 216. And he's had a lot of peaks and valleys since then. He's a very volatile team. So we'll see if he can if that volatility continues, or if he can. As you can see, he finally had 2 good weeks in a row. He never had 2 good weeks in a row.
That's
Look at
so
this.
interesting.
Right, because I feel like I didn't put it on paper, but I feel like when we talk about Mike's team, I'm always like thinking, is it good or bad? Because I never know, because it's good and then bad. So he finally put together 2 solid weeks here. We'll see if that continues. He might be hitting his peak in time for playoffs. This could be a championship team. He's peaking at the right time. Could be. That one with outlier notwithstanding. Again, great week in week 3. Good job. Chris P. Again, like I said, like he was kind of a fake team in the beginning. He wasn't that bad, but he wasn't good enough to be like 6-2 or whatever he was. But in the last, since week 8, the last 5 games, he's exploded. Since that low in week 7, he's been well above league average, getting about 160 every week with 3 190s in there basically. Week 8 was probably like 188. So awesome job from Chris. This is like the perfect chart. And you know what's next, Corby? Are you ready for this chart? So in my opinion, this is the second most like anomalous chart since other than Taylor. That one year where he was just like the most like up and down team of all time. This one might be a little more anomalous actually, because you started out with 2. You started out 0-2 famously, and there were close games, but you were 0-2. You haven't even like been close to league average since then. Your team's not only like really good, it's just so consistent. It's unreal. Last week I posited that no team had outperformed their projection like Taylor had. I believe, and there's no way that we can go. I guess, there's no real way we could go and do this without doing a bunch of math. I would be willing to bet that no team has had this stretch of consistency of like, just like never having. You haven't had one bad week outside of the first 2. This 10-game winning streak you're on is every bit deserved. There is luck, of course, always, because you haven't gone against when you scored 160, you haven't gone against 180. But like they're all earned. Nobody can spurn your team and say like you haven't earned your wins. You have a great team, the best team, and again, nobody can say anything bad about your peak. Your peak may be yet to come. You've never had is that a 200? Do you remember? Did you get a 200 in week 3?
I have not had a 200 burger this year.
Okay, so it must be right below. Yeah, it must be like 195 or something. So. Great team. This is. I mean, if we're not going to lie to each other, to everyone, this is probably a championship team. But playoffs, anything can happen. And the next 2 weeks, anything can happen. Maybe someone tears their ACL, Lamar or something. No, I don't want to speak that into existence, but who knows what happens? That's Peaky Finders. That's the end here. Here's you can watch Peaky Finders on Netflix. I think it's still on there. It's got Cillian Murphy. And that's it. So I hope you all learned something about your team as I stop sharing. Here we go. And that was pretty seamless transitions for me. So I'd like to congratulate myself.
That's a very good rendition of Peaky Finders. And I'm not saying that just because I
you are
best chart, which it certainly is an anomaly. And I think that you're right. I definitely feel like I have lucked my way into some of them. And yes, they are earned. They're earned, but I also have gotten so lucky with injuries. Like I know that I had Puka out for the first 7 weeks.
Right.
Fortunately, my gambles have paid off. I feel like Chase Brown was kind of a middling kind of guy. He's been great. Zach Ass has been ass, and freaking Zay Flowers has been awesome, and freaking Bucky, Bucky Irving. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT.
Right, and that's to say nothing of the #1 player in fantasy, Lamar Jackson, who's been your rock throughout the year.
No doubt about it.
Do you have a third quarterback?
I do. I have Jameis.
Oh, that's awesome. So you'll be able to, because Lamar still hasn't had his bye. So not that you need, not that you need to win at week 14, but so well done, Corby. Let's jump into week 13. I hope everyone learned something about their team and other teams. So yeah, let's jump into week 13. Where first up we have.
I hope this is the right order. I don't think that it is. It's not. Hold on.
It doesn't really matter.
Okay, let's just do this order.
Yeah, let's just go in this order. All right, Corby, why don't you you want to say some things about this one?
Yeah. So this feels like the scariest I've been, obviously, all season. The current hottest team in the league, which would be Chris, in my opinion, against me, who's the scholar of consistency. And this really is for the top seed, who will end up playing the lowest seed in the playoffs in week 15. And yeah, so let's we can break it down. Like, Chris got Jaden for one more week, then he's on bye. I've got Lamar for one more week, then he's on bye. I feel okay about a lot of these matchups that I have. Like Jawan Jennings, I hope that Brock Purdy can come back and help carry the load. I mean, Jamar Chase, he's got in the flex as a swag strat, and maybe just showing off. Demario Douglas, has he been good? I don't really know.
No, he's had some mid games, but I don't think he's ever been like, you know, he has 120-point game, but he averages about like 9 in the last like 5 weeks.
Yeah, and I think these projections will definitely figure themselves out over the next couple of days. We are recording on Tuesday. I don't know if Malik Neighbors is capable of scoring 13 points with Tommy DeVito at the helm, and I still don't know the status of Luke Schoonmaker, because I don't know if Turd Ferguson's going to play. So that's all up in the air as well. Bucky Irving is going to outscore his projection at 13 points. With all of this in mind, I think it's going to be really close. I think it's going to be high scoring. It's going to be hot and heavy. And I think I'm going to win, and I'm going to secure the first seed and get. I think we've pretty much already clinched the bye, both of us. It's really more about just first and second and semantics of it all. So with that in mind, yeah, I'm definitely taking myself.
Yeah, you said it. You said most of it. It's the new hotness, the newish hotness versus like the season hotness. Yeah, if you were to just slot in Kyle Pitts right now, just talking about projections, you would be above 160. Which is crazy for this year. I don't know if anyone's been projected for 160 all season, unless you have, Corby. Have you?
I don't think that's true, but I can vet that while you go.
Yeah, so that'll be scary to look at. I'm also going to take you. You know, you're 110 in a row. Chris is. He's had 2 for the past, like, you know, we just saw the chart. He's had like 5 really good weeks in a row, including 2 no 190s in the past 2 weeks. So he's on it, but I mean, Corby's just he's the picture of consistency. This is a huge game. Could be a Super Bowl preview, but we'll see. I will take Corby as well.
And for the record, I was projected for 159 points 2 weeks in a row a few weeks ago. And we will welcome back the chip.
The coin, the chip.
And the chip is going with me.
We'll see who Corby or Fitzy takes. Could be a full round of Corby's here.
Need to roll a d6. Hold on. Okay. This is not the lock. This will not be the lock of the week. You're gonna like what the lock of the week is. All right.
Oh boy. All right. This is a really
nemesis Brandy in it.
Man, Brandy is my nemesis this year. All right. So this is actually a huge game. With Tyler taking on Brandy. Tyler needs to win out to make playoffs. If he's in control of his destiny, he wins out, he's basically in playoffs because of his incredible points for. He's second in points for still. I think he's still above Chris, right? I'm saying that, but I'm not sure. Is he above?
I can also vet that.
Oh no, he's not. I'm sorry. He's 11 points behind Chris. I'm sorry.
Wow.
So he's third, but he's right there. Nobody's near Corby. So this is a big one for Tyler. And I guess mostly inconsequential for Brandy. Like you said, she already clinched playoffs, but obviously wins are nice. Especially since Brandy will probably lose last week, since I know a ton of players are on back for her.
Yeah.
Nico and Jonathan Taylor. And we'll get into that because I play Brandy that week, so it will feel good, but I'll probably lose because that's my life. I was waiting for the violin music. All right, but I'm going to take Tyler. He's got a great team. Brandy the Pretender. I will take Tyler over her. Brandy's starting Rashad Bateman and Devon Vele again. But I guess
He's good, dude.
Oh, okay. He's
good.
had three distant weeks in a row. I didn't know this. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
that's fine. And again, and I meant to note this with Chris P's team because he's got the 2 tight end flex with Kittle and McBride, which is absolutely filthy. But Brandy's not far behind with Bowers and Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith has become a revelation. He's the best tight end in the league.
It's one of my favorite things about fantasy football is I feel like maybe once a year there's just some random guy who's been in the league forever who just goes on a fucking tear and is just like an every week starter.
Right.
And especially at the tight end position is awesome.
Right. So real quick about Jonnu Smith. You remember where he started his career?
Tennessee.
He had one of the best spark scores of tight ends ever. That's like an athleticism measure, like during the combine and stuff. He was like wicked fast. And in Tennessee when he was able to finally like throw, like he got like 60. He was a really good tight end one year when he got like 60 catches with Mariota and he was looking really hot. And then the Patriots signed him to basically be a run blocker, and everyone just forgot about him, And then he did okay with the Falcons last year, but they had Kyle Pitts, so he didn't really get fully utilized. But he's a guy who I feel like it's like tragic, who I think really could have been something. But he got this huge contract from the Patriots to basically be a second run blocker behind Hunter Henry. He has some games with the Patriots, but real ones remember Jonnu Smith was a beast. He had one of the best yaks that year in Tennessee. And now it's funny because they have Chig, who's like basically the same thing, but smaller. Great spark player, an athletic freak who just shout out to him for his 70-yard touchdown catch on Sunday. So again, great tight end, 2 tight end flex. Brady's team isn't that bad, except about the whole RB2 thing going on. It is a tragedy, but I will take Tyler.
I think that, yes, the RB2 thing is an issue, but I think it is improved. Listen, I get it. Tyler Algier sucks, but he's better than Raheem Mostert, and it was a pickup, and I've got no issue with it. With that in mind, I think we're still dealing with the revenge tour for Tyler, who is vying for a win, and he's going to probably force himself into playoffs. And I think that the seeding is really important. And again, Brady just likes to win fantasy. So even though they're in playoffs, they're still going to be vying for their wins because they want better seeding in terms of who they're going to play. Again, with all this in mind, this is tough because every time Brandy plays somebody, the other team does bad. But I'm gonna pick Tyler here because my brain is telling me to, and I just think that he's ascending, and I will be interested to see what goes on. I think this may be closer than we think. And yeah, you can say that she's restarting Rashad Bateman. Listen, the guy scored a touchdown last night. He had like 11 points, and that's more than Kareem Hunt. So that's a win-win. That's a win. That's a win trade.
We won that trade.
That's a win trade. And the chip is taking Tyler as well. Man, lots of heads on this chip.
All right. All right, next up we got Taylor and Fitzy. This game, it doesn't matter. Both these teams are out of playoffs. Fitzy's playing for his dignity, and I guess Taylor kind of is too. I mean, there's not much to say. Taylor has a not great team. Is he not starting Taysom Hill? Maybe he hasn't set his lineup yet. But count on him putting him there. I'm going to take Taylor. I took him last week and he let me down, but I'm going to keep taking him because, I mean, we saw the potential. I haven't seen that potential from Fitzy's team, who has a solid team, but, it's a mid-team, as he would say. And Taylor's is, Fitzy famously came on here last week and made this. We'll get into the bets, but Taylor either scores very little or very much. I think he'll score very much this week, especially if he slots in Taysom. So give me Taylor, sure, why not?
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. I feel like if Taysom Hill is in this lineup, Taylor's going bananas. And the poor mid team won't be able to keep up with Taylor, as Taylor is he's the spiky guy, right? So he had a bad week last week, so it only makes sense for him to score another over 200 points. The 100-point swing is what's gonna happen here. Sorry, Fitzy. I'm going with Taylor as well. And thank you. And the chip is taking Taylor.
Oh my God, come on. Where's the contention?
I know. Let's get some contingency plans here. Jesus. We're all doing the same thing.
All right. I'll take this one here. This is huge, obviously. The first already? Damn. This is obviously huge. And we'll get into the other big ones. I guess there's only one other really big one, right? This is huge. I need to win out to even have a chance of playoffs, and I need other things to happen too. We'll get into that. Loss here would basically, I guess, not knock Chris out. He'd have to win next week. So he hasn't set his lineup yet, obviously. And if you look at this, you think I'm going to win, but he's got. I think if he put in his players, he'd be about the same as me. Brock Purdy, T. Higgins, and Bijan taking over for Jerome Ford and no quarterback and whoever else he's not going to start, Romeo Dobbs maybe, and then we'd be basically the same. And also he'll probably pick up a better defense. I mean, if he's going to be active like he was not last week after picking up Bryce Young. So I'm going to count on hopefully him not doing that, but he probably will. And these are going to be a lot closer. The game will be closer. I'm nervous. I think I'm overprojected here, honestly. Jayden Reed is the last 2 weeks. Jayden Reed in the first drive, the Packers. 2 weeks ago in the first drive, he got like 2 catches and a touchdown. He was looking awesome. Didn't do anything for the whole rest of the game, literally. He had like no points. Last week, first drive, he gets like 3 catches, 30 yards. First drive, didn't do anything for the rest of the game. Literally nothing. I don't think he even got another catch. What is going on in Green Bay? Give me me. And I'm going to lock myself in because I need it. I believe I'm going to do it. Mike, you talked about the law of attraction. I'm attracting a win to myself. Give me. I need it. Chris Cloud, you don't deserve it. I would have put Bryce Young in.
Yeah, you took a lot of the words out of my mouth, and I am going to pick you as well because I just feel like I like you, and I like you as a person, obviously. I like your team to win more here because it creates more drama for this league, and so I'm into that. I'm also, it is Tuesday. Chris has still not set his lineup. I hope that he remembers that there are early games on Thursday in order for him to set his lineup, at least to make it interesting. Like Josh Downs is probably not going to play also, so that's a whole other thing. Romeo Dobbs is not going to play either. He's in the concussion protocol. We'll see, and I don't know how much they're going to limit David Montgomery because he was hurt on Sunday. Maybe they were just holding him, but yeah, I think for those reasons, sure he's got players on the bench and stuff, but I just like your team better this week. I think Pittsburgh and Cincinnati will be a nice shootout. Jordan Love's going to have to do something to keep up with Miami. Even though it's going to be like 20 degrees in there. I do like the tight end swag strat too. 2 of them. Give me Colin.
Yeah, they both got touchdowns last week, so let's try to make it 2 in a row here.
And the coin, oh my God, again, is going with Colin as its lock of the week.
Let's go. I feel like the juju is good. Corby, I feel like doesn't pick me very much, so I feel like the vibes are fresh and good.
Vibes are hot.
Why don't you tell me about what's going on here, Corby?
Well, it's the battle of the bottom feeders. Will Eric move down in the rankings by losing to Adam? In reality, though, these teams are projected for more points than they have in a long time, and that's mostly because of the fact that there's no bye weeks for Eric in this stance. If you are interested, you should go look at Eric's projections for week 14 when he plays me. He's currently projected for 66 points. Not to make this about me. Anyways, with all of this in mind, I haven't done a lot of analysis here, but as trends go, Adam scored 150 points last week, which is a great week, 155 to be precise. And that's more than Eric has scored in a very long time. And so for that reason, I'm not only going to pick Adam, I'm going to lock in Adam as my lock of the week.
Yeah, you said most of it. The Chiefs are playing the Raiders this week. The Broncos just shit all over them. Or, at least Cortland Sutton did. So Project Mahomes is projected for 18.9. I think he's, let me check real quick. He's scored above that twice this year. He scored like that or above twice this year. So that's surprising to see. But that's just how little Yahoo thinks of the Raiders. Give me Adam. I agree. But you know, it could be a close one.
Oh no. The coin goes heads again and picks Eric. Eric, no! Coin, no!
At least it disagreed.
You what? The coin does not see anything. It only knows 50-50.
All right. The other big one here. This is a huge game. Mike alluded to it in the comments. So we have Chris Colby taking on Mike. Chris Colby, the 6th seed right now. He pretty much needs to. He doesn't need to win out, depending on what Tyler and me do. But he needs wins. He needs to. And next week he plays Chris Cloud. So we'll see. You know, if Chris Cloud's been trending a little down, but if he could win these next two, I think he's kind of in depending on what happens. But Mike winning this would be a huge favor to me after last week. I'd really like that. Chris is a decent team. You know, Quentin Johnston needs that bounce back game. I think he should slot in Westbrook Akine, who's just been catching touchdowns every week. We'll see. Give me Mike because I need him to win, and also he has a good team. But you know, knowing my luck, he probably will lose. Is Chris the team of destiny? I think this is the week we finally find out. I'm gonna put my chips on no. What do you think, Corby?
Yeah, this is definitely the biggest one. One of the biggest ones for me. I love these middle of the road teams. I'm not to say Mike is a middle of the road. I mean like Chris.
Here he is.
Sorry. Chris is again vying for victory here. And he has to get Quentin Johnston out of his lineup. He has to. If he sits Nick Westbrook Akine again, I'm going to be really pissed because that's a guy that I would love to have on my bench. I would even slot him in sometimes. Like, he's good. I totally believe that. I think that Rico Dowdle, oddly enough, I think Rico Dowdle is probably underprojected. I think that they're going to run the ball a million times against the Giants. I think that's what's going to happen. And I'm looking at Mike's team, looking for any blaring issues. I mean, the issue is what happened to Debo? You know, he had like one catch last week. He had an 80-something yard return get called back. Debo just has not been him. He's been very sad. He's been Debo-hoo. You know, it's very sad. But Mike's team's still great anyways. He's got Saquon. And Saquon's going to have to catch the ball, run the ball a lot against Baltimore because he's got to keep up with Lamar Jackson. With all this in mind, I'm going contrarian. I think Chris can win this one. I think that there's a path. I think that McCaffrey can bounce back here, even with Dobbins being questionable and not happening. I think that there is a chance that this happens. So give me Chris.
Nick Westbrook Akine. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In 6 of the last 7 games, he's got a touchdown.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
what I'm saying. Put him in the lineup.
Let him play.
And the coin is on the team, the side of Mike. The first tails of the evening.
Right.
Is that all the matchups? Oh my god.
All the matchups. So this is going to be a huge week, obviously. Next week will obviously be the last week before playoffs. That'll be it. Or next week. Yeah, next week, right? That'll be, yeah. Last week will be the last one for playoffs. I'm getting that right?
Yeah. That's correct.
That is correct. So big deal this week. Big games coming on. Good luck, everybody, except Chris, Colby. Okay, bets of the week. Here we go. So last week we had a lot of bets. We had a lot of bets, but not a lot of them were like a lot of them were kind of season long. So we won't talk about all of them, but here's the one we're going to talk about. First, we had the lowest scoring tight end. It was Zach Ertz, me, versus Mark Andrews, Chris Colby, Firemuth for Corby, or Fitzy's starting tight end. He ended up starting Laporta. So all these guys had decent weeks. Ertz and Andrews both caught touchdowns. Firemuth had like 4 for 55 or something. And so Laporta finally pulls out for Fitzy. 4.6 points or whatever it was. 4.9, I don't know. He didn't score a lot. He scored below 5. So what? Fitzy, give some flowers to Sam Laporta, who finally did you a solid. Next up, we got Chuba Hubbard versus Bucky Irving. Chuba was having a really bad game. It was kind of saved by a touchdown, at least efficiency-wise. And then he got a touchdown and he hit it. I think he had like 15. That's solid. Bucky Irving, on the other hand, had like 27. So Corby's darling continues to shine. He's just up and up. Speaking of peaky finders, he's still finding his peak. It's going up. Corby's RB 1 and 2, Chase Brown and Bucky Irving. If you told me that in the preseason, I would have said Corby's got a bad team. Turns out he has a very good team. Will Colin win? Colin versus Corby. I played Mike. And Corby said I was going to lose. And I lost. You know, after Zach Ertz scored that touchdown in the early game, I was like, I'm going to win this. And then I lost. Taylor scored between 109.25. 109.25 and 209.25. That's what Fitzy brought this thing. It was like either Taylor scores a lot or a little. So he thinks he'll score a lot or a little. Huge range here. And Fitzy, he got it. Taylor scored about 106. So I took on Fitzy, and Fitzy won, and Corby took on Chris Colby, and Chris Colby won. So well done, Fitzy. We had a wife bet, me and Fitzy. I didn't crunch the numbers. I'm pretty sure Fitzy won. Alex had a really good week and played a really bad team. In hindsight, we should have done one that wasn't so reliant on the other team being really bad, because Kim played a competent team actually, but won. So I think she won that one. So I'll take the $5 for that. It was in first place. I think Fitzy knew that Alex had his bad team and worded this in a way that really helped himself. But well done. He did it. He won. So good job. He needs it. A sub 100 score. Will there be a sub 100 score? A very strange bet from Fitzy. I really couldn't believe, not only did he bring this up, but was happy to take everybody on. Yeah, with so many bye weeks, like it's just a strange, and with so many teams doing bad lately, because at least 2 teams had sub 100. So he lost this one. It was us all $5. Me, Chris, and Corby. That's all the old bets. New bets. All right, Corby. New bets here. We got a bet right here. I got a bet for you.
All right, let's hear it.
All right, I think Zach Ertz is going to outscore whoever you have starting your tight end spot.
You know, I remember last time you wanted to make a Zach Ertz bet. You said it was going to be the last time.
No.
He just so happens to score 14 points or whatever he scored.
You're wrong. Wrong. I said if I lose, it's the last time. I ended up winning.
Okay. So you're yeah. Okay. Yeah, sure. Of course, I'm going to take this bet.
Right. So we'll see if you start in. You slot in Schoonmaker if Ferguson's out, or Pitts. I think Ertz can do them both. He's been great in the last few weeks. I believe he's still tight end 7. Come at me, Adam.
Adam, let us know in the comments below. Is Zach Ertz tight end 7? And based on what average from it?
All right. So once again, Fitzy will, I'm sure, will let us know in the show notes who he picks. I want to bet on who he picks. He'll let us know in the show notes whether he read our bet first.
Oh my God. Okay.
And I will take either side about your matchup.
Oh.
I think he's going to take Chris.
I think he's going to take me.
All right. I love it. I feel like he likes to be the contrarian. Do you have anything?
I'm ill prepared, unfortunately.
Yeah, me too. Those are both off the top of the dome.
Okay, I would like to hedge my pick'em. I think that Chris Cloud will beat you.
Okay, I can always use the extra incentive.
And I just need, I need you to perk up a little bit here. No more crashing out.
It's just. I'm not gonna say anything. All right, you're playing it anyway. It's just unjust. It's not fair. It's so unfair. It's so fucked up. All right, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's just, and the thing that really makes me sad is in the beginning of the year, I was like, I don't know if you remember this, but I was destroying the league in points against. Like I had the lowest by far, but I was doing good. It's not like I needed that.
Yeah,
I had a lot of good weeks. Like I played Fitzy when he scored like 70 points. I had like 160. I had a good week. Like I didn't luck into these wins, but now that I need them, it sucks. And what really hurts is week 1 when I didn't set my lineup and I would have won. Like I need it now. Now I need that win. My team was 5-3. Now I'm 5-7. All right. Next bet. Let's see. All right, Corby. You want to make me happy? I'm gonna make myself unhappy. I think I'm going to outscore you this week.
Are you serious?
Yes, we're not projected that far apart, and
Okay.
that's because you don't have a tight end right now, or
Okay.
at least yours is 2 points. But I think I can do it. I think my peak is coming this week. Nobody on bye. This is my week.
I don't think that that's going to happen. I think that I will outscore you.
Oh, I know you think that, and that's why it will.
Easy.
Who's Denver playing?
Denver is playing. I'm pretty sure they're playing a bad team this week. Let me check. They are playing Cleveland on Monday Night Football.
Uh,
You don't want to take that, huh?
I can see it, honestly. I can see Cleveland winning that.
I think are they in Cleveland? Nope, they're at Denver.
Yeah, versus Cleveland. What was this? How close was the Raiders? What was the score? I feel like it was a little close for a while.
It was a blowout. It was 29.
29-19. That's not a blowout.
Oh, please. They trailed.
Did they get a late touchdown?
Yeah, it was all like field goals and a late touchdown. It was all dog shit. They were awful.
Oh, Amir was the only touchdown, right? Because the rest were,
so.
That adds up, yeah. All right, well, let's do it. I bet on Cleveland, sure. I think they can do it.
Give me the surging Denver Broncos.
Yeah, that's good against Pittsburgh in that snow game.
Who's your favorite in the NFC? Like, is your favorite the Lions? Do you think the Lions will make the Super Bowl?
Oh, absolutely. I think the Lions are dominant. My favorite to like win the division or the conference.
Not the division, just the NFC. Yeah, I guess the NFC Championship.
Yeah. I mean, I would say the Lions. Do you have a do you would you say that too?
I would not say the Lions. I would take the field, but I
would
also
do that. You want to do the field?
I would also pick a team if you want, but I would take the field.
Well, I feel like you have to take the field because, like, I feel like any one team like isn't like who would you even take? Like the Niners, maybe? Like who?
No, I would take the Eagles.
Are they doing good? I don't even know.
The Eagles started 2-2 and have not lost since.
Oh, that's crazy! Like you almost, except you started 0-2.
Yeah,
on an 8-game win streak.
All right, so Detroit Lions versus the field.
Sure, why not?
And now I'll flip the script. I'll take the Chiefs, and you can have the field.
Really?
Just an offer.
Let's pick one team in the AFC, and I want the Ravens.
You want the Ravens?
Yeah, you can take Chiefs to win the AFC, even though they're not doing that great. I think they're going to win the AFC. They're clutch, and you can pick Chiefs if you want.
I'll take Chiefs,
and we'll just throw it out obviously if neither team wins.
Yeah.
Because I know the Chiefs are doing good, but
listen, I think the Chiefs are so much worse than their record, but I just think they're
one of those like Tomlin teams, just like well coached. They win the close games. They're like Mike Tomlin.
And my friend Adam always says to bet on the Chiefs, and so like that just feels like
he's right.
I'm gonna hedge. And listen, if they don't make the Super Bowl, I'm happy. If they make the Super Bowl, then I win $5 and I'm sad. So whatever.
Right. Yeah, maybe don't listen to your friend Adam this year though. It's not.
I don't know how he's doing in DFS. He's probably rolling in money.
Oh, I'm sure he is. Yeah, I'm sure he is.
All right, I want to make a bet. I want to make a bet on comments. Wow. I want to bet the over/under on number of comments on this episode.
Okay, here's my fear: is that whatever way. Well, I guess if I bet under, there's no. But if I bet under, I feel like Adam's just gonna spam the comments.
That's true. Okay.
So but we can do it. But I'll bet the over. Then I will spam the comments. No, I'm joking.
Okay. Right. I guess I didn't take that into account. But again, I don't think that anyone makes it this far into the episode, or they just skip to the end and go to the outro.
Yeah. Well, apparently Mike doesn't even watch the outro sometimes. He missed the
That's true.
Meet the Boys segment. No, we can do. I definitely want to do a meta bet.
If you want the over, will you set the line?
How about we do a views bet?
Views bet is good. I like that.
Let me look at what the past 5 episodes have gotten. Probably around 40, right?
We had 54 views on the last episode.
Pretty hot.
Okay, let's see. So 50. Oh, this is 51.
51.
51, 65, 60 is the last 3 episodes.
Okay. So the way I feel about this podcast is that as the weeks as it gets later and teams get knocked out, less people like tune in. I feel like the late episodes always have like 20 views or something.
Yep.
I guess that actually wasn't that true last year. All right, well, let's set the line. What do you think? I mean, 55, or do you think that's too high?
55 is fine with me. I would take either side.
Let's do 54.5, and I'll take the under.
Okay, I will smash the over. It's a Thanksgiving episode. People got a long weekend. They got nothing to do. I'm in for 55 views.
All right, that's a lot of bets. I think that's good, right?
I
Unless
like
you
it.
have another one you want to do.
No, that's it. That's it. That's
Okay.
enough.
I love a meta bet. Okay, and if that's it for the bets, then that means that's it for the episode. This was a good episode. I want to thank everyone for tuning in and watching, and commenting and liking and subscribing. If you're doing that, if you're not doing that, then please do it. Hey, how about if you're listening to this right now, open up the read more in the description, read the question, and answer the dang question. And while you're at it, answer last week's questions just to make it up to Corby, who, as you could have heard, is real bummed about it. So please go and do that. Corby, you want to tell us what we're doing next week?
Next week, strap in. Brand new guest, never been on the podcast before, not even a member of the league. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to bury the lead.
Okay.
We'll get into it next week.
I like it. All right. And that's it. I want to thank everyone for watching, listening, and commenting and subscribing again. Good luck, everybody, except Chris again, who I need to lose. Maybe Tyler lose. I'm Colin.
I'm Corby. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving, and gamers also game on.
Fantasy football blues, where dreams are made in crate. With each snap and pass, our spirits are enslaved. In a world of stats, projections and hopes, we're all just puppets, tangled in our ropes. Sue's got more homes, but her RBs are thin. Lost most of the season in a whirlpool spin. Trades, waivers, and picks, it's a ruthless game. One moment of glory, next you're drowning in shame. Bob's got a secret, a sleeper he knew. A rookie's magic, and it's spreading like flu. With every touchdown, our hearts skip a beat. Week by week battles, till we're facing defeat. Fantasy football blues, where dreams are made in crate. With each snap and pass, our spirits are enslaved. In a world of stats, projections and hopes, we're all just puppets, tangled in our ropes. Bob's got a secret, a sleeper he knew. A rookie's magic, and it's spreading like flu. With every touchdown, our hearts skip a beat. Week by week battles, till we're facing defeat. Fantasy football blues, where dreams are made in crate. With each snap and pass, our spirits are enslaved. In a world of stats, projections and hopes, we're all just puppets, tangled in our ropes.